Okay guys, so welcome to Pycoders Academy Python course, and you have been learning this Python course with me Faisal from Pycoders Academy. And in our subsequent videos in our previous videos we were looking at the advanced data types, which we said they are the list, the dictionaries, the sets, and the tuples. Okay, so we did the sets in our previous video, and we said we will be treating the built-in methods of the different data types in this video. Okay, so we will start with the int and float built-in methods in Python. So the ints are just the integers and the float are just numbers with decimals, as we know. And we have examples here: the 4, the 5, and 6 here. And the float are just the numbers with decimals, so 5.3, 5.55, 1.23 here. Okay, so the straight to the built-in methods. Built-in methods are just methods or functions, and when we say function, they are just code that makes let's say that makes our life easier, so we can use it to make our code much easier. You will learn we will learn about functions in our, let's say, subsequent videos, so you appreciate the using of the functions and the explanation how to use it and so on. Okay, so built-in methods are just functions which are already installed in Python, so they come with Python when you install the Python interpreter, so no need to install it again, so you just use it. Okay, so the int and float built-in data types are just like the same because they are from the number data type, so the methods are just the same. So the first method we will look at is the int method. So the int method is used to convert data types from other data types to the int data type. So let's say we have something like, let me see, number is equal to, and we have, oh sorry, okay, and we have a string of, let's say, 50, like this, and we want to convert this string, which string to an int. We just use the int method, so we just do, you can print it out and see the result. So int parentheses, and put the variable name inside, then you run this code. Okay, so you should get 50 here. Okay, so it has converted it to an int data type. So you can also have a float here, 50.55, it's 60, sorry. Then let's run this code. So it has also converted the float 50.66 to an int. So the integer of the 50.66 is the 50. So we got 50 here. Okay. Then we move on to the float data type. So the float data type is the same as the int data type, just that it converts from other data types to the float data type instead of from other data types to the int data type. Okay, so let's say we have something like 50 here, and we want to convert it to a float data type. We just change the int here to a float. Sorry, just change it to a float. Then let's run this code. Okay, so you can see we are getting 50.0. So when you see something like decimal, number and decimal, then it means it's a float. So it has converted the integer 50 to a float of 50.0. Okay, so now we understand how to use the int and float. So let's look at a practical example of how to use it. Let's say you are using an input statement to accept input, and we know when you accept an input with the input statement, it turns into a string, so you need it to convert it to an int. So let's say we have something like number is equal to input, then we say enter number. So you are asking the user to enter any number, and you multiply that number by 2. So let's say print number times 2. So star 2. Okay, so let's run this code. We should get, okay, so let me type this 3, typing 3 here. Okay, so you can see I'm getting 33 instead of 6. Why? Because it is treating the number 3 as a string. So uh when you pass let's say a number inside the input function, so when we accept this input, it turns into a string, and that string will be used here. So instead of 3 being used, it's used a string 3 to multiply by the 2. So when we multiply a string by an int, you should get a repeating string. So that's what we got here. So repeating 3. Okay, so now we want to get the correct answer. We just have to convert that string to the input data type. So we just do int, then surround it here. Okay, so now it should print as 6 instead of 33. So let's put 3 here. Okay, so you can see we got 6 here. So this is very, very important when using numbers. You can just convert from string to the int when you accept that number by using the int data type. You can also convert it to a float like this. So float. So let's run this code. Okay, let me put 3 here. Okay, so I got 6.0. So when you want to use the decimal aspect, you just use the float method. When you want to use the int method, you just use the data type, int method. So you just do that. So you can also apply the int and float method here. Let me clean this. Okay, you can also apply it here like this, int, then like this. Okay, so let's run this code. So let me put 3 here. Okay, so you are getting the same result, 6. But remember, when you put the parentheses here like this, you are saying that the string times 2, and you are finding the int of the result, the result of the string times 2. So you are finding the int of the repeated string, which is 33. So when you do this, you have to get 33 because you are finding the int of the result, not the int of the number. So let's run this code. So put 3 here. So that's the 33. But when you put the parentheses here, so int of the number times 2. So now we should get 6 here. So we are getting 6 there. Okay, so the parenthesis is very key. Where you put it is very, very key. So you can use it as I did in the first method or in the second method, but not covering the whole result like the number times 2. Okay, so now we know how to use the int and float methods. So moving on, we will touch on the round method. So let's say we have a decimal and you want to run it to the nearest whole number. We just use the round method. So we just do, let me do this. Okay, so let's say 4 here. So let me print, then you bring round here, then you put the number inside. So number. Okay, so let me change this to 67 so that it will run well. Okay, so we are getting 5 here. We know when the first decimal place is like greater than 4, it should turn into 1 and it will be added to the integer. So let's say we have 4.6 here, 67 here. When it's greater than 4, it turns into 1 and it's being added to the integer. So we got 5 here. So when you run 4.67, you should get a 5. When you run 4.37, you should get a 4 because the 3 is less than 4. Let's run this code. So okay, so you got 4 here. So you can run your decimal numbers using the round method to get a nice result here. Yeah, so it's so simple. You can use it for your math homeworks and other stuffs. Okay, so moving on, we will also go to the main method. So the main method, as we know, like from just the spelling, is used for the finding the minimum. So let's say we have a series of values and we want to find the minimum of that series. We just use this method. So let's say we have something like 4 comma 3 comma 2. We can find a minimum. So let's say print then min, and you put the number inside. Okay, so that the number is the name of the variable, so the variable name is number. So let's run this code. Okay, so it went through our series of numbers and fetched out the lowest number, which is the 2. So you can get the lowest number just using the main method. So when you have plenty numbers and you want to find just the smaller number and print it out, you just use the main method. Okay, so another way to find so if we know the main is for the lowest, then we can refer that the max is also for the maximum. So we can do maximum. So maximum. Okay, so this also brings out the maximum number which we should get for here. Okay, so we got for here. So it goes through our series of numbers and fetch the maximum number. Okay, so we can also find the maximum letter. So let's say we have something like C, B, and we have something like D. Okay, so you have something like this. Oh, sorry, remember they are strings. So string this, string that. Okay, okay, so these are strings, so you have to put it in quotes and it should fetch us the maximum. So let's run this code. Okay, so we are getting D. We know the maximum in here is D because A, B, C, D. So we will like move to B and C, then the last will be D. So the D is the maximum. We can also find a minimum here by just doing minimum. So like this, and you run this code. Okay, so now we know the minimum here, which is B. So we know how to find the maximum and minimum of both numbers and letters also. So you can use this in your code to find those minimum and maximum values if you wish. Okay, so now let's move on to the sorted method. So sort means to sort something out. So let's say in our code we want to sort them out, to arrange it in a specific way. We just use the sorted. So let's clear this and say 3, 9 and 1 like this, and we just say print sorted. Okay, sorted, and you put the variable name number, so like this, and so sorted. So we are rearranging the numbers. So when you use a sorted, it rearranges from the lowest to the highest. So from the lowest we have 1 here, then it will go to 3 and it will come to 9. So that's what we have here, 1, 3, 9. So moving on to the lowest to the highest, so we are moving in an ascending order, so from 1 to the highest, which is 9. Okay, so the sorted just sort it out by using the ascending order method. So you can also change this to let's say floats like 4.5. Okay, let me do it 4.5 to 4.809 and 3.6 like this. Okay, so we can sort this also out like this. So let's run this code. Okay, so you are getting the lowest to the highest. So 3.6, 4.52, and 4.809. So this has been sorted out from the as lowest to the highest. So using the sorted method, you can sort them out. Okay, so we know how to sort some simple int and float numbers by using the sorted method. We can also try it with the letters too. So I don't know, like this is the int method, so I won't treat those letters, but we have already treating the maximum and minimum of those letters here. Okay, so sorry for my voice, so it went out, now it's back. So okay, so now we know how to sort the numbers out. Now we move on to the sum. Okay, so sum, we all know sum, like, yeah, sum is just finding the total, so totality of just the numbers given. So let's say we have 4, 5, 6 as we have here, and we want to find the sum of those numbers. We just use the sum method. So you just change here to sum. Okay, so this is the sum method. So sum method, then parentheses, then you put the variable name inside. So let's run this code. Okay, so we are getting 15, which is true because 4 plus 5 you get 9, 9 plus 6 you get 15. Okay, so when you have, let's say, plenty numbers and you don't know the sum of it, you just use the sum method to find the sum. You can find the mean through this. So let's say we have a series of numbers like, so 10, 19, you say 5, okay, like this, and you can say we want to find the mean, and we know the mean will be the totality divided by the number of the numbers inside. So we can say print, then we will say, sorry, sum of the variable name, which is the number, okay, divided by, you can count it, or yeah, you can count it, or you can use the len method. So len of the number, like this. So we know the len method, we treated it earlier. The len method just go to the series of numbers and find the number of the numbers inside the variable. So the number of numbers will be fetched here and it will be divided it with the sum. So let's run this code. Okay, so we are getting 8.16, which is the mean of the number of the numbers here. So the numbers here will be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 numbers. Okay, so let's divide it by 6. So it worked the same way as the lane. So let's run this code. You should get the 8. So you got the same output, 8.1666. Okay, so that's so simple. We can also convert this output to the int. Yeah, so we are applying everything here. So to get a raw value like the whole number. So we are getting 8 here. So you can do a lot of stuff with Python and those methods in the int data type. So you can do a lot here. Okay, so now we know how to use the sum. Then the last will be the eval method. So the eval method is just like equation. So let's say we have something like x equals 3 here, x equals 3 here, and we have an equation where we want to use the x to solve that equation. We just use the eval, like so like it's the short form of evaluate. So we are evaluating that equation. So let's say we have something like, so you put the eval method here, then you put it here, so x plus, let's say, 3. So like this, sorry, x plus 3, x plus 3, like this. Okay, so the eval method is used for the this calculation like this. So let's run this code. Okay, so it's so simple. Let's say we have a series of polynomial. So like this, so we can have something like x times. So we know the symbol for exponent, so x times. So two stars is for exponent, so like this, then plus 3, so x squared plus 3. So simple. Okay, so x squared plus 3, and we know 3 squared is what? Is 9, and plus 3 is 12. So it's the same thing. So you can use the eval method to evaluate those those statements, those mathematical statements. So when we give the parameter variable let's say a default value, like as we said x equals 3 here, then we can just find the eval of those expressions. Okay, so it's so simple. You can achieve a lot with this let's say with this methods. So you can create a very nice project using this method I've just illustrated here. So simple. Okay, so next we will look at the built-in methods for strings. So now we know that for the int and float, we will move on to the strings. Okay, so thank you for watching, and subscribe to my channel to like motivate me for more videos. Okay, bye bye.